Hello friends, this is Preetha with 5 Minutes of Authenticity, and we are continuing our discussion on the various aspects of imposter syndrome. The previous 2 episodes, one of the underlying takeaways was the fact that most of us who face imposter syndrome demonstrate an underlying theme of behavior or a pattern of behavior. And without generalizing too much, it comes down to a feeling of self-doubt. Now, we've already examined why that happens and where it comes from. But the question remains that, okay, so I'm feeling the self-doubt. It could be because of whatever reason. Yes, I'm a perfectionist, so what? What do I do with it, right? And so let's start looking at a few tools, starting with this episode, about how can we reframe self-doubt. If you go back maybe 5 or 6 episodes on my Swellcast channel, you will find a series on mindsets where we talked about growth mindset versus fixed mindset, right? So self-doubt is like that. Dwelling in a place of self-doubt is a very fixed mindset. I cannot do this. I got lucky. I'm not qualified to be here. I don't know how I got here. I don't think I'll be able to do this. This project is just not good enough. I am not qualified. When we face things like this, when we tell ourselves this narrative, when we tell ourselves this story, we reinforce the self-doubt. We reinforce the desire for validation. We reinforce a very non-authentic space in our lives. I look at all of this, and I a while ago when I used to do a podcast called Mind-Blowingly Mundane that you'll still find on most of the podcast channels, I'd done an episode called The Power of Yet. And I often use this example even with my daughter, and sometimes she tells me the same, which is nice, knowing that she's been listening. But when we say, I'm not qualified to be here, or I don't know how to do this, I will fail. The power of yet is, I don't know this yet. I am learning something. I'm not there yet. What it does is it opens us to reframing our self-doubt. Now, what is reframing? You take a photograph, say it was in an old frame. When you change the frame, the photograph itself looks different. We look at the photograph differently, right? So when we reframe our self-doubt from a place of I'm not qualified to be here to a place of I'm learning and growing, which is why I'm here. When we reframe from a place of I don't deserve this reward, or I think there are better people, you reframe and say, wait a minute, the people who are deciding this are very intelligent, they are astute. So who am I to question that judgment? Why am I doing that? I have contributed meaningfully in multiple projects. When we reframe from a place of, I am not ready for this. This is something, again, I speak with my daughter quite often, and something that I have experienced personally when I got into a life coaching role, thinking, when I speak to my clients, I've never done life coaching before. I am not ready for this. And then my next thought of reframing was, okay, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. That is when my personal growth is going to happen. But from a credibility perspective, I go back and look at, say, Preetha, you have 15 years of senior HR executive experience. You have 13 years of parenting experience. Hell yes, you can do this. So that is a reframing, right? Taking the story we're telling ourselves and then reframing that with a positive mindset, with a growth mindset. And taking certain affirming actions. Sometimes when we have a negative thought, write it down. Write it down on a piece of paper and see what it looks like. Sometimes when it's in our heads, it doesn't visualize well. But if you write it down, and then write the affirming action with it and say, if I have nothing to contribute, really, let's just look back and see all the good stuff I've done. We'll talk more soon. But think about this till then.